on, YouTube? How's everybody doing today? It's another episode of the Dunces podcast. It's been a while. Finals kind of officially started already, but that's okay because we're still here. It's better late than never. So we got Johnny, Isandro, myself, Jason. We're just gonna get right into it, guys. Game one just happened, but before we even get to that, can we just shout out the other teams that were in the conference finals who did not make it? Atlanta had a great run, and the Clippers also had a great run without Kawhi. So shout out those guys. But now the finals are here. We got the Phoenix Suns, haven't made the playoffs for a while now until this past season. Make it to the finals with Chris Paul leading the way, along with Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. And on the other side of things, we got the Milwaukee Bucks with two-time MVP and Giannis Antetokounmpo, also Defensive Player of the Year. They got other solid role players with Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez, a good overall team, and Giannis is back. He looks pretty healthy. So, guys, what are your takeaways for this series? So, not we're not going to talk about the game just yet. Just some takeaways for the series. What do you guys expect? Obviously, game one, it was just like a pre-notion, a feel-out game for everybody. But what do you guys expect? Who will be your best player? Just ask questions and we'll answer them. So, Johnny, what's one thing that you have for this series?
I mean, are we gonna get consistent play from Drew Holiday? This is my really thing, because there's a lot of different things that helped in this series. I mean, shout out to the Suns. First of all, the conference finals before, I just want to shout out to the contracted ref that made sure his foot was in the way of Trey's ankle. I love you, Trey. But let's to the Suns. Yeah, the Suns, they played a great game. Very well rounded on both ends. Cam Johnson gave them great minutes. Chris Paul, a huge third quarter. They got a lot of foul calls that the Bucks didn't get. The foul line discrepancy was huge. But
Yeah.
if we're gonna just talk about key things that I noticed, is that Drew Holiday isn't aggressive enough offensively. Maybe if he was, this is probably a different game. Bud probably has. It took Bud way too long to realize that Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez were unplayable at the tail end of the third quarter. Like, I mean, it was just Chris Paul and Devin Booker just going one-on-one on those guys. He
Yeah.
changed the lineups, put Brian Forbes in, which is, I mean, Brian Forbes is a defensive liability, but he will give you something on offense. Putting Giannis at the 5, and they have to switch 1 through 4 instead of 1 through 5. A lot more switching, and they got to stop leaving their fours in the island like Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez. So, but I think the key thing is, can we get consistent contributions from Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday? Because I feel like they're banking on Giannis to give them 30 and 15 every night, which he probably can later on in the series. But it's more important that the role players in Drew Holiday, and they paid Drew Holiday $40 million for a reason. He's got to
See,
step up and be.
I I would agree with you if you would have said Chris Middleton needs to step up because I think Drew Holiday, his main role is to defend, right? Like his number one most attribute, like the thing that everybody knows him for is his defense. He's one of the most underrated defensive players in the NBA. He's so underrated that so many people call him underrated, and he's still underrated. Like that's crazy. So Drew Holiday, his defense needs to be at 100% amazing type of defense, which he can be. But Middleton is the one that needs to be that option because not only is he technically whatever, like some people say he's a number two. No, I think offensively he's your number one. He's your
Yeah,
go-to guy.
he
He's
is.
the
Yeah.
one that can get you buckets. So I think in all of this, when it comes to that big three, if you want to call him that, it should be offensively wise: Middleton, Giannis, and Drew. And then on the defensive end, I feel like Drew needs to be like that, lockdown defender on Chris Paul, on D Book, kind of play that Pat Beverly role, except, who can provide a little bit more offense than normal. What do you think?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Let's look back at the minutes that Giannis gave you. It was a stretch of 10 to 11 really good minutes in the first half, and then he didn't give you anything else because he was gassed. So
Yeah.
for right now in this series, the totem pole is Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Giannis, whatever Giannis can give you. Giannis will come back to his normal self really around game 3 or 4. But for right now, if they want to win games, Drew Holiday has got to be aggressive. And this is not too much to ask because we saw him do it on both ends in games 5 and 6 in Atlanta. I mean, you
Yeah,
paid him $40 million and he can show you he can do it. He just has to, he just got to be more aggressive, and hopefully that can create offense for other people as well.
Yeah, what do you think about this, Isandro? Like, what is one of your takeaways, or just go on with what Johnny is saying?
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I do think that defense is going to be his most important asset, but at the same time, he's got to give you more than 10 points on 14 shots, especially with Giannis coming back from an injury. And like Johnny brought up, he's done it. We literally saw him do it in this last
Yeah.
series, so it's not like he can't do it. I mean, yeah, he played great defense. I know he wasn't the primary defender all the time on D Book, but he definitely had some influence on that. D Book shot 8 for 22. That's pretty decent. But he's got
Yeah.
to give you more than 10 if he's even a third option. I mean, DeAndre Ayton, it's not the same situation, obviously, but as a third option, he's still giving you some production. He's still giving you buckets, you know.
Well,
So
Aiden has been playing great, yeah.
he's
But
been
continue.
doing great as that third. I mean, it's a legitimate big three with him there. So he has to step into that third option role a little better.
And the thing is, obviously, Drew Holiday's important on defense. But if they're not even if they're attacking some of the worst players on defense anyway, you got to counteract that. You know what I'm saying? Because like they're just going to be attacking Brooke Lopez and Portis on the floor, or if Connaughton's on the floor for the small ball lineup, they're going to attack Forbes
Or
and Connaughton.
Bryn, yeah.
So obviously, I mean, you got to fight over the screen, but you can't fight over the screen every single time. So okay, that means all right. So if we're gonna lose on matchups on defense, right? Like what? 2 out of the 5 times, the other 3 times Drew Holiday is like clamping down. Okay, we got to make sure to match that on offense so it can make it be closer again. I mean, I feel like the Bucks is really encouraged because you didn't get much from Giannis, didn't get much from Drew Holiday, and you only lost by 11 points. The crowd was going crazy. It seemed like the Suns were up by 20, and it didn't really seem like the Bucks ever had a chance. It didn't seem like it was too much of a deficit.
Yeah,
So
I feel like the Suns had control, but not to the point where like they put their foot down. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, because they did no, like they played a great game in game
really
one,
good.
but for the Bucks, to have a hobbled Giannis, because I mean, technically this is his first game back from injury. He shouldn't be doing this well, So yeah, they should feel a little happier. My only issue is, and this is where I want to bring in my take on just what the series, as a whole, not just this one game, but as a whole. Coach Bud's, coaching, whether it's defensively or offensively, I think that is the most important thing. And to be honest, on the Phoenix side as well, I think Monty Williams is a great coach, but uh, you know, trying to find adjustments for lineups, bringing in smart players to defend and smart players to play offense. Cam Johnson has been great. Shout out my UNC alum. But I think that I think that the coaching is very, very important, and the way that Coach Bud handles these situations, putting having DeAndre Ayton being put on Giannis as the primary defender, it kind of threw him off just a little bit. So we're gonna see how that works out, and will he even make adjustments? Because we all know Bud. I mean, this podcast is like, I think, religiously known for hating on Mike Budenholzer and his coaching deficiencies. So that's what I'm going to be looking at for the entire series. Hopefully, it's a long, good series because it's been a while since we've had different teams that don't include LeBron or Curry. But Isandro, what's something that you want to take out from this series that you're looking at, or like you just want to, talk to us about? Like, what do you think?
Well, I heard somewhere that Buck like that last series against the Hawks, he was kind of making some adjustments. So we thought, okay, maybe
He
he's
did.
turning over a new leaf, right? But I also heard that if he really sticks to his guns and he's very close-minded and he doesn't try to stray away from that drop coverage, the Suns, I mean, D Book and Chris Paul, I mean, they're going to be feasting, right? I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, we'll see what happens, and then I mean, what happens this game, right?
Yeah.
We see it happen.
I think
So
drop coverage is like one of your new favorite words. I just want to point
I
that out.
just discovered it like last week. I'm like, this is crazy. My
Yeah,
mind is being
it's
open right now.
No, but the drop coverage actually wasn't that bad.
no, it was solid for a good half, and then the second half just
It was
it
a good
just
half,
went down.
but because here's the thing, it was really just D Book. Like in the first half, D Book was just drawing like so many fouls
Yeah.
off of it. I mean,
No.
so it wasn't really bad, but D-Book was just manipulating the refs, bro. Like, I don't know what D-Book promised the refs after game one, but I mean, bro, like, it was like what the Bucks
We'll
shot
get
like
into it. We'll get into it. Yeah, we'll get into to game
and
one.
the
Yeah.
Buck, like the Phoenix Suns shot like 25 free throws, dog,
Yeah,
and
and they only missed one. Only missed one.
because
That's
of
crazy.
bum Drake Crowder, bro.
Yeah, it's so yo, they would have had the what's it called? The record or whatever. But
The record's 25 made free throws, or
no, the record is 21 made free throws without a miss. So if they would have,
when did
they
he
were
miss the
close.
free throw? Was it like in
No,
the
it was
end?
the last. It was the last free
Very,
throw. It was the very last free throw. He's such a bum, man.
bro.
But shout out Jake Crowder.
Bro,
He
Jake
had
Crowder,
1 point,
all you
but he
gotta
had
do,
the
bro.
highest plus minus of everybody on the entire court.
Yeah, you see, we can't hate, bro. We can't hate because you got
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
plus
No, shout out Jay.
Plus
Shout out
19.
Jay.
He carried with
Yeah,
1 point and
but
9 rebounds.
so Isandro, I think Johnny and I mainly spoke about it on the Bucks side, but on the Phoenix side, like what's one thing that you're like, okay, this guy has to step up, or the team has to do this. Like, what do you think that Phoenix can do
The
to
thing with
rectify this?
Phoenix is it's not a okay, this needs to happen. It's more of these things that have been happening that they've been doing good. They need to keep it up, because if
Yeah,
they keep it up, I mean, the Bucks don't really. They can, bring it to 6, losing 6. Maybe it goes to 7, but I still have Phoenix as the better team because of how they've been playing. And I don't think it's a lot to be asking of Phoenix if they've been doing it all up until this point to continue to do so with CP3. Obviously, you can't expect them to continuously drop 30s and 40s, and same thing with D-Book. But you can't expect them to step up and close out games. That's what he did in Game 6 against the Clippers. It's what he was really lethal in this game today too.
yeah, I
The role
agree.
players have been stepping up. Cameron Payne, Cameron Johnson, Jay Crowder carrying the entire team with a plus 19.
Care.
I mean, what are they going to do without that 1 point, right? So everybody has been filling into their DeAndre Ayton. Everybody's been filling into their roles so well and so beautifully, and they've all been so consistent that the only thing you can ask of this team is just to keep it up, which actually is kind of a lot, because if you see teams do kind of, I mean, you can't really keep it up, right? Teams kind of drop off from game
Yeah,
to game. D-Book had a 40-point triple-double, and then he lays an egg the next game,
but young teams, I think young teams like these, and I'm saying young because D Book and DeAndre Ayton are the other part of your big three, right? Like it's Chris Paul was like 35, 36, and then it's a 24-year-old and like a 22-year-old. So these young guys, like they've never been through this, right? So like they're just gonna go out and do what they know, and that's play ball, right? So I think Phoenix has a great chance to really like win this finals. But
they can do it.
I wanna ask you, Isandro, because you talked to me about it the other day, and I want to get Johnny's perspective too. The big three, we say that a lot for most teams, but is this Phoenix Suns team, like, do they truly have a big three that like will go down in history, but when we mention big threes, like their names will be like top 20 or whatever, like when it comes to big three. Like, what do you think?
I mean, you said top. I was going to say top 10. No, definitely top 20. I think the real question, the real point of contention was, when did we realize? And this is what I asked you. Like, when did we realize? When did it actually become a thing? Because at the beginning of the year, it was not a big three. I know maybe some people can argue with me on that, but people were not expecting this team to be this good and to make it to the finals. They thought, okay, Aiton's going to really progress. D-Book, I mean, he's gonna finally have that point guard to share the burden, and this team is going to flourish. But nobody really expected it to be DeAndre Ayton with 22 points and 19 rebounds, Devin
Yep.
Booker 27 points, and Chris Paul with 30. Those are big three numbers, actually arguably better than big three numbers, because you see big threes in other teams in other situations. The third guy has to defer. He's dropping like maybe 15 points, but he gives you stuff in other areas. DeAndre Ayton had 22 and 19. That's like third superstar level numbers,
Yeah, on great
It's really
efficiency.
nice to
Yeah,
see.
yeah. So what do you think, Johnny? Do you think that these three guys, you know, throughout the season, have they been a top five big three throughout the entire regular season and playoffs? Have they been a top five big three in the NBA this?
I don't know about throughout the season, because what makes this A10 run so special is because no one saw this coming. I mean, we wanted this to happen. I mean, like, I'm talking about we. I mean, I'm speaking as a general, like, just the Suns fans in general. Like, this is what we wanted to see from Aiton,
I think
But
everybody, NBA fans in general, wanted to
yeah,
see
fans
this
like
reunion.
this
Yeah,
is
Yeah.
his potential. This is what it could be. But there was a lot of ups and downs in the season. Defensively, he was having some problems with stronger centers. Um, small his hands, but I mean, all of these things have just been like reverse corrected during the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, he's shooting 70% from for the entire playoffs, bro. 20, he's giving
yeah.
you 20 and 15 regularly. I mean, bro, that's literally more and beyond what you can ask for and the energy he's giving you on both ends, bro.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just it really
Third
That's the thing
third
too.
option.
Like he's not afraid, right? Like he's just
no.
not scared of any. And that's the thing. Who like throughout this run in for Phoenix, who is a true player that could have actually guarded him besides technically Giannis? Like what other player could have guarded him? In his mind, nobody. And to be honest, no one really could. I mean, AD, yeah, but then he got injured. Nikola Jokic is a bum, and then you got, on the Clippers side, Zubac. I mean, no, his
And
confidence
then
just,
Zubac got injured.
and then Zubac got injured, right? So now it's
His
like it's
confidence is
Giannis, it's
sky
Brooks. So
high.
like he is, arguably, one of the best centers in the league today, and he's still growing, right?
Is he
So
top 5?
I mean, what other centers do you have? Jokic and Embiid.
There's only 4 other default wins, so the argument is for
Yeah.
5th place.
The argument is he better than Miles Turner right now?
That's what I'm thinking. That's the
Yeah,
name that
right.
came up. Miles Turner.
Right? Is he better than Miles
Bro, you
Turner?
said Miles Turner, bro? Man, I don't know, man.
He's inconsistent. We'll give it to
I
Aiton.
don't know, man. Miles Turner, bro?
Oh, he a dog, bro.
I
He a
mean, he's
dog.
actually good. Let's not act like it's not
Nah,
a.
shout out Miles Turner though, man. We want you on the Warriors. But yeah, no. So far, it's been a great series run for all of them guys. But now, game one analysis though. I'm sorry, Johnny. Go ahead
No,
before.
no, no. I
before I
just one point. I just want to say like Devin Booker's savviness, because he's already been like an old school savvy player. But then you give him Chris Paul, bro. You give him Chris
Yeah,
Paul.
Chris Paul, old head minded man.
You see how D Book's already manipulating the refs, bro. He's getting superstar calls in his first NBA Finals.
Dude,
And
I was telling my dad, I was like, yo, this reminds me of when like Kobe won his first ring without Shaq against Orlando. I'm like, the way D Book is playing, like playing with all this heart and energy. Like Chris Paul obviously is different because this is like kind of Chris Paul's time, but the way D Book is playing, bro, it's beautiful to
what's
watch,
funny?
man.
What's funny? I think Van Gundy made the point because remember when the Cavs and Warriors started the finals? Like it was the first finals for Curry, and like there was like 5 minutes into it where everyone was nervous, no one was hitting shots.
Yeah.
Bro, it's not the case for Phoenix and Milwaukee too. Like teams got to their sets, the moment wasn't too big for them, and they just got right to work. Which
You
is
know what else is like? It's not just them though. Like throughout the entire playoffs. I mean, besides the Knicks, of course, because the Knicks are always trash. But every team, every young team, yo, they played like if it wasn't their first time. Like Atlanta shouldn't have been in the conference finals. They shouldn't have gone six games.
that's facts. They shouldn't have been in the conference finals. They should be hosting the Larry O'Brien Trophy at Magic City right now. That's what they should be doing.
But they played great. Like all these young guys, bro. So it's been a great playoff so far, and no wonder so many people are tuning in. But now back to my other point where I want to get into is game one analysis. As we all know, Phoenix won game one. You said it, Johnny. They won by about 11 points. Leading scorer was Chris Paul,
Well,
heart and soul of the game.
13 points. 13 points.
It,
That one
13
point by
points.
Jay Crowder.
Yeah, screw Jay Crowder. Now we love you though. Takeaways. I think I want to start off with mine, and then we'll fizzle on with you guys. My biggest takeaway right now is basically I kind of alluded to it. D Book. The fact that he's not afraid and he's hitting wide open shots, which we all know he can, but he's kicking out to players and before I felt like when I used to watch the book or like when we would watch him, he would kick out just because he had to, right? Like he would just pass out because he knew that he needed to get the ball somewhere else. Now, when he does kick out, he kicks out to shooters. Like he doesn't look for, DeAndre Ayton at the top of the key. No. He's jumping in midair and he's like, okay, Cam Johnson is to my left, but I got Chris Paul to my right. I'm gonna kick out to Chris Paul real quick. And then Chris Paul is there, passes out to Mikal Bridges, and he shoots. Like Devin Booker's playmaking ability has gotten, just so much better. So that's my takeaway for this game. And I think it's just going to keep on progressing. And the way that he maneuvers and handles the ball throughout the series, it's going to be a key factor to them winning it because Devin Booker is just different. And no one on that team, I'm sorry, but no one on the Bucks can guard him. PJ Tucker can't guard him. Drew Holiday can't guard him. Middleton can't. Like
I don't know, bro. He shot 8 for 20, bro. Relax.
Yeah, calm down, bro.
no man. Like he shot 8 for 20, but I mean, like he was doing the other things
Yo,
that everybody's been hitting him on.
Luke hasn't
Like,
had a good shooting game since game 1 of the Western Conference
He
Finals.
hasn't, bro. Calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
but
He
no,
hasn't.
but not, but okay, exactly. So that's the shooting part, but I'm talking about the passing part. Like
When you
getting
say
his
nobody
teammates
can guard
involved.
him, that refers to guarding a shooter.
I know I'm saying that no, I'm just saying no one can guard him. Like no one can stop him one-on-one. Like he
Yeah.
missed shots, but like even then, I mean, who was he shooting over? Brook Lopez. Like his face, like his hands.
All
were up
they
in his
can
face.
really do is try to slow him down, but he's
No, but I mean, we're not talking about like, bro. It's the playoffs, bro. No one's shooting efficiently. But
Yeah,
I'm just,
it shouldn't. Yeah, it shouldn't
I'm
happen.
just saying, like, I mean,
But he's been doing.
I can
he's
fight
been-
him, bro. PJ, hey,
No.
relax.
Screw PJ Tucker. I just hate the Bucks. Shout out Brook Lopez though, because I want them.
Hey, yo,
you know,
to add to your
okay.
point though, this was, I mean, if you look at the box score, like, okay, this is a blowout, but it was a beautiful game to watch from like start to finish.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed like the passes where D-Book would try to break down the defense and then he'd kick it out to a wide open Chris Paul. Bro, I mean it was beautiful basketball, bro. It was a really good game. Not my takeaway.
No, I know that was basically my point. So I think that it was a great game by the whole team overall, but the way that D-Book handled himself, even through the poor shooting night, which I find so irrelevant and so stupid, but whatever, he did great. So that's my takeaway for this first game. Isandro, now, what's one of your takeaways for this game? It could be Bucks, it could be Suns, referees, whatever, any side.
Other than the Suns are looking like the better team, not much. I mean, it's a game 1. Giannis was just coming back from injury. We got to really see how they look in game 2, and more importantly, game 3 when the Bucks have the home court advantage. Because as Kendrick Perkins loves to say, role players play better at home. So the Bucks role players will step up. It won't be liabilities.
Kendrick Perkins ever again on this podcast.
Yo, Kendrick Perkins is a dog, bro. I love that dude. But
carry on, bro. Carry on.
But Isandro, I want to ask you before I get onto Johnny.
This is a Rachel Nichols podcast. Support group.
Hey! Shout out Rachel Nichols, man. Y'all heard about this whole thing, man. We gonna talk about that a little later. But shout out.
Podcast.
Wait, what happened with Rachel Nichols?
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. But I want to ask you, Isandro. Was this a must-win game for Phoenix, or was it just like a feel-out game?
It was a must-win for Phoenix because the Bucks, obviously in the NBA you want to win games, but realistically, like they weren't expecting to win this. That's why they got blown out by 15 points.
It's a feel-out game, bro.
It's a feel-out game, bro. It's a feel-out game.
So then why would it be so important that Phoenix won it? Is it
because
they're at home?
if the Bucks don't really care about winning the game,
I'm asking a question, dude. Damn, this is just a question. I know the answer, but
stop asking us the question. Then we know the answer too. Stop asking us the question.
I guess we'll just say it. I mean, if the Bucks weren't really caring about winning the game and then they won anyway, and Phoenix was just looking like bums out there, they had the momentum and everything. That would say a lot about Phoenix. And
look at this. Look at this.
A lot of young players.
Look at these stats right here. So the Bucks shot 40 for 88. Phoenix shot 41 for 88. 3-point field goal percentage 45.5. Suns shot 47%. 3-point.
It was the free throws that really won them.
The free throws, bro. And you know that fluctuates from game to game.
Yeah.
So I mean,
well, not 2006, but yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Shout out Dwayne Wade.
I don't know.
Wait, I heard that was actually rigged, wasn't it? Donahue said that.
The referees who ref that series, bro. I mean, their children is having a great.
Basically, anything
ref are in Harvard right now.
Anything refereed before the year 2007 has been rigged some way, somehow.
Yeah,
any series.
Like that Kings game against the Lakers.
That was, you know what? We should do a podcast on conspiracy theories on rigged NBA
Starting
games.
with Trae Young's injury in game 5.
Well, conspiracy theories. Not really. The Nets should have made it to the finals. Why didn't they?
They just sucked. Anyway, Johnny, can you give me one of your takes? Yeah.
They were so close. But then, so everything's close, and then you go to free throws, 9 for 16, 25 for 26.
Yeah. That
So,
one missed free throw, Jay Crowder.
but then okay, so then if Bud looks at the film, right? If Bud CTE, like if they give him the medication that he needs, he looks at what was the turning point of the game? It was
What is CTE? I just want to know. I don't feel like Googling it right now.
it's brain damage that NFL players get after multiple.
Wasn't that in Concussion, like the movie Concussion?
Yeah. It's like
That was a
with Will
great movie.
Smith?
Yeah, that was fire.
like multiple concussions and you get brain damage. So pretty much, I'm alluding that Bud has brain damage. Pretty much when I say that.
Thank you, Johnny.
From
Thank you.
from multiple concussions.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just,
That's
yeah.
it. All right. Anyways, but so all this stuff is close. So the point is that, and also like I said, if Bud looks at the film, what was the turning point in the game really? When Giannis was at the 5, and they were able to push the pace.
Absolutely, I agree.
They got to start that. They start that from the jump in game 1. So now the question is, where do you put Brook Lopez? Where do you put Brook Lopez? Maybe not start the game at Giannis at the 5. So where do you put Brook Lopez? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
Yeah, I think because look, Brook Lopez had a great game.
Not unplayable because you saw like
he had a great game today.
And the Bucks have a huge size advantage they can take advantage of when Ayton goes out. So it's like, when do you use Brook?
Also, we have to mention Dario Saric. I mean, it's a pretty significant loss because he was their backup big. I mean, he wasn't giving you anything defensively, but still a pretty big loss. Now they got Frank Kaminsky, who can't play defense and who's not even being looked for on offense. So it's like, dang, like that was a pretty tough loss.
Frank Kaminsky is a subcontracted cheerleader at this point, bro. That's all he is.
What does that mean for whoever guards Giannis? Because you just said that they're not good defensively, but Ayton can't be the primary defender on Giannis the entire game, right?
That's why if you notice, Jay Crowder played a great defensive game on Giannis.
He
did. He got some foul calls, but the way that he was bodying, like Giannis was trying to push him around, but Jay Crowder wasn't taking it, right? Like Jay Crowder was playing great on-ball defense, great off-ball defense as well. So
that's the thing. That's the thing that the Suns they can without Ayton. They have so many great defenders and bodies to throw. The person we haven't mentioned, Mikal Bridges, bro, plus 15, had a great game, bro. 5 for 12. Shot big time threes.
And him guarding Chris Middleton, bro, that's a great matchup. I love it. I love it so much.
That's a really good matchup.
Yeah.
Middleton still shot well though, I think.
No, he didn't shoot. I mean, crazy well. I mean, it's 29.
That's the thing. Again, you got to remember. Again, it's the playoffs, right? So it's like
for the playoffs, 47% is pretty good.
No, that's
Chris Middleton got hot.
And if 38% is good for Jay, then I guess 47 is godly.
Hey man, 25% is great for me. That's all I'm gonna say. But if I'm being honest, Chris Middleton, and we should probably just talk about him for like a good 5 minutes, only because I feel like Chris Middleton does get a lot of love-hate from all of us. Chris Middleton is a great player. Not great. He's a good player, and he's a great player for Milwaukee.
You know, it's funny.
He's a great player for Milwaukee.
We've seen him be great.
No. He can be a great player. The only person that's stopping him from being a great player is Chris Middleton.
Yeah, it's himself, and he's so long, so he has a lot of good defensive abilities, and he can shoot over players with ease. It's just the inconsistency, bro. Like you see it, and the good game that he had today, he needs to match that, or do it even better. Because if not, then the Bucks really just sold them. Because
I mean, look at these numbers. I mean, 29, 6, 7, and 4. That's a great game.
He's actually had 3 straight good games. Game 5, Game 6, and this game today.
So he has a good game today, right? And they still lost. And in the other 2 games, they won, right? So if he has another great game and they lose again, I mean,
dude, it's not, bro. This series is far from over, bro.
You're right. I'm just saying
it's a whole even if they're down
game, all that stuff.
Even if they're down 0-2, bro, going to Milwaukee is a whole different animal.
Yeah,
you get better production from the role players. So yeah, I think a key part of this game that probably won't be talked about for me personally, it was like at the end of the third quarter when Cameron Payne hit back-to-back layups and the 3. I think that really kind of, really make the Suns feel a lot more comfortable because there was a stretch where it was just D-Book and CP3 just running the shots, taking shots, and then the Bucks were coming back. So shout out Cameron Payne for those really good minutes. He pushes the pace when Chris Paul is really just trying to control the game. But Chris Paul's not going to be at full speed all the time, but that's all Cameron Payne does.
Yeah, no, I love the way that he plays. When he's handling the ball because they're playing at a fast pace, which is the same thing that the Bucks do. The Bucks are run and gun stuff like that. They have that type of mentality as well. So I think Cameron Payne does a great job off the bench, and then when Chris Paul comes in, slows the game down, but finds players in their spots. And one player that you mentioned, Mikal Bridges, great game today, like you mentioned. Just an overall great performance by the team, and like you said, the series is far from over. And with that said, I want to ask you guys, what are your what's the word I'm looking for? Who do you guys think, or how do you guys think the series is going to play out? Like, is it going to be 4-2, 4-1? What are your predictions, Johnny? Who do you got to win it all, and in how many games?
I'm going to say Phoenix in 7. I think the Bucks figure it out. Um, the Bucks figure it out. Probably they win game 2. Game 3 and 4 split. Milwaukee wins game 6, and then it comes back to game 7, and then Phoenix will close it out.
Okay,
I
and what about you,
100%
Sandra?
agree. And the only way it doesn't go to 7, this might be a hot take, is if something happens with Giannis and that injury. But I feel like if Giannis is easing back in and he's going to be at full health, let's say, it goes to 7, in my opinion.
You go
In
to
the Suns
7
window,
and
in the Suns
Phoenix.
window.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I am going to also say the same thing. Phoenix in 7. I know Jeremy, who is not here unfortunately with us. He did say Suns in 5. But he's been a
Yeah.
Suns fan ever since the Warriors were out of the playoffs.
He kept saying like, "Hey guys, I told you the Suns are gonna beat the Nuggets." Yeah, bro. Thank you. No Jamal Murray. Thank you. We know
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. No Kawhi Leonard. Oh, I
Hey,
wonder what's going to happen.
this
Yeah.
is why we're called the Dunces. Don't you guys remember? We have stupid takes. This is what we do. But I agree with you guys wholeheartedly. I think Game 7, Phoenix wins it all, and I'm very excited to see what this all means for Chris Paul and everything. So last thing I do want to get into with you guys. We're gonna finish up the pod on this last topic here. Do you guys think that with everything that Chris Paul has been through in his career, that taking this finals team, is this the best team that Chris Paul has been a part of? And if not, who is it and why? I'm going to start off with Johnny on this one. Johnny, what do you think? What do you think? Is this Chris Paul's best team? If not, who is that team and why?
Um, this is a great team. Lots of chemistry, but I don't think this is a great team. I think the Rockets team with James Harden, Chris Paul, Clint Capella, PJ Tucker, Trevor Ariza. Yeah, that was his best team. And I mean, it showed. If Chris Paul was just healthy, man, if Chris Paul was just healthy, like even a little bit. If if the Rockets don't shoot like 3 billion threes and miss, I mean, they make it to the finals and they win.
He
Yeah,
missed 27 straight threes.
And they only lost by single digits, right? Like it wasn't that bad of a loss. So just imagine. So that's you who you think
well, I mean, if we're
Chris
gonna go
Paul's best
top
team.
three, if we're gonna go top three, I could say number one that Rockets team. Um, Number two, Phoenix. This Phoenix team, just because they're so well rounded on the offensive defensive end, and then three, Lob City.
Yeah.
Okay. Which
Because
Lob City though? The pre Matt Barnes or the after Matt Barnes?
what, Matt, like pre Derek Fisher Matt Barnes or after Derek?
I'm, I'm talking when the Clippers picked them up. Like, was it the
Stable
Swaggy
family
P
Matt Barnes
Clippers?
or unstable family Matt Barnes? Which one?
Was it the Swaggy P Clippers or the Matt Barnes Clippers? Like, which one are you talking? But
Uh, Nah, because there were so many questions with all right, what Blake Griffin are you getting? Um, and also the hack of Jordan was a like you could just take him out of games sometimes. I
see
didn't like
that's why I think we have to look at the context of when those times were, because the Lob City team, that team was built for a championship during that time, because that's how teams were built, right? Like it was two bigs, and one of your bigs could kind of like do it all type, like kind of like how it is today, except his main thing wasn't to shoot; it was just to dunk, to run. And DeAndre was anchoring that defense. Matt Barnes was a good defender. Chris Paul was a solid defender. Then you got JJ on the wing. I don't know. In my opinion, I think Houston is probably the best. After rethinking it, that starting five was just amazing. But I got Clippers as the second one. And then I got Phoenix. And I got Clippers mainly because, yeah, sure, this Phoenix team is well rounded, but so was that Clippers team. And I think if you put that 2014-15 Clippers, which was probably their best year to win it, up against this Phoenix team, I don't know, man. I think
I
it's a
think
close
on
series,
paper,
and I
yeah,
got
but I mean, we all know what
Yeah,
happened.
this is on paper, bro.
This is on paper.
exactly on
That
on paper.
Clippers team,
That's
even when they were healthy, I know you're gonna say, oh, they got injured and stuff, but when they were healthy,
I
they
wasn't gonna.
underachieved.
Yeah,
They choked.
I'm not
They choked.
discrediting that. I'm not.
And
You're
this
right,
Phoenix
but
team hasn't choked when they could have. They could have choked, and they
you're
didn't.
right. But I mean, look,
I
look.
mean,
Okay,
it's,
think
it's
about it.
like
Hold on, wait.
it's like,
Think
hey,
about
yo,
it. Think
the
about it.
thing
Hold
is
on.
like, what if you put this Suns team in that era of game, and then you put this Clippers team in this type of game? Like,
I would put.
spacing.
I think that with all the like, if you gave the Clippers this path, like with all the injuries that these other teams had, like I think the
Clippers
Clippers.
wouldn't have made it past the Paul George led Clippers team that beat the Utah Jazz, in
Stop
my
it!
opinion.
No, come on, man. Don't
All
no,
right,
don't do
bro,
that.
They took
Don't
the
do that.
Suns to six. They
Don't
took
do
the
that,
Suns to
man. Don't
six
do that.
without their
No,
best player. And when we finally see Paul, like the offense running through Paul George, it was beautiful. That game 5 he had, oh my
no,
god.
that's all Chauncey Billups though. That's all. But no, I think I don't know. I
And
put
like
I
I
don't know.
said,
That
the
game 5,
Clippers are a choke team.
Paul George had a great game 5, but they wouldn't have won that game without Marcus Morris and the minutes from Boogie Cousins, because
You can't single-handedly win games. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But okay,
no,
so
okay, but Marcus Morris was red hot, bro, to start out the gate. So that was
Yeah,
like,
he was
even
important
then,
too. I'm not saying he was the
Morris
only
is a
reason why
bum.
they won
I
that
don't like
game.
Marcus Morris. But okay, that's my so I got Houston, Lob City, and then I got this Phoenix Suns team.
I got
But
Houston, this Suns team, and Lob City third.
so
And I agree with Johnny.
now can we also just talk about that Hornets team? Because look, on paper that was also a really good team.
On
That
paper, yeah.
you got Chris Paul, Peja Stojakovic, David West,
Prime David West was
Tyson Chandler.
Hey, yo, Prime David West on the wing, bro. The 15-foot shot.
That was they were
elbow
a
band?
solid team. Yeah, you know what?
If Peja wasn't dealing with injuries, I mean,
Yeah, no, that Hornets team,
That was a good
you
team.
know. So I think that also deserves some recognition, but I don't think it's definitely is. I don't think it's top 3. But I don't know. I have to give. I think it's also like bias because I love that Clippers team. You know, you got Jamal Crawford coming off your bench. Then you got DC coming off your
and then
bench.
later on you had Lou Will.
Yeah, but Lou Will was after that. But you know,
Yeah.
like I'm talking like your starting lineup. CP3, JJ, Matt Barnes, Blake Griffin, DeAndre. Then off the bench you got Darren Collison and Jamal Crawford. Like,
That's crazy.
bro,
The
He
thing
goes-
with me is this
he goes-
this
he
team
goes
on paper should be number one. Should be number one. They should have made
But
it to the
they just fell
2015
short.
finals.
They fell short. Yeah.
They just fell, and that's why I can't put them in my top 2.
Egos kind of, stopped that team from being great. And
Yeah.
don't forget Doc Rivers, bro. Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers too. And we see this season, I mean, a little tangent here, but he was a big reason why that Clippers team underachieved. Because you see these blown leads he had, like you could say Ben Simmons couldn't shoot, but
Oh, they would have gotten swept by Phoenix if Doc Rivers was the head coach, dog.
I just want to say real quick before we get in there, that Hornets team also had Bonzi Wells. Shout out Bonzi Wells. I saw him once.
Bonzi Wells, the Fonz.
Bonzi.
Bond? Oh, not the Fonz, the
Bonzi
Bonds.
No.
I got you.
No. Bonzi Wells. I saw him once. Oh, and shout out Mo Pete. He was also on that squad. But yeah,
Monty was the coach of that team, right?
he was, and him and Chris Paul clashed a lot. So but yeah,
this
I
is
don't know,
really
man.
like a beautiful like a reunion.
Yeah.
It's like they renewed their vows. They went through some tribulation and now they're back together, riding the sunset.
I think it's very
The
a very cute
sunset.
way
I
to
like
look at
that,
it.
Johnny. I like that. Was that on purpose?
I just made it up in like 2 seconds, and I'm proud.
Yo, genius.
That was like
Come on, son. Come on.
Jason
that-
didn't even realize it at
that's
first.
the
He just
Arizona
kept
brain.
talking.
Yeah, I was gonna because we gotta get over this. I'm done. with this.
My fried
But-
Arizona brain.
Yep.
My
Yeah,
fried
how's the weather
Arizona
over there, Johnny? Let us know, man.
it's
Give us a weather report.
Bro, if it wasn't for this ring light, bro, you wouldn't be able to see me. I'm getting cooked every day. Like, it's horrible. I want to die. I'm coming to New York soon. Live podcast in Jersey. Shout out Jeremy. We up.
Yo, we have
Yeah.
to like, and I got
We're
a
all
bigger
going to
fridge now.
Jason's house.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a mini fridge just for you, bro. Just for you.
Hey, yo, I think
Hey,
I'm gonna go to the Suns game and I'm gonna do a Dunces podcast vlog. Our first
yo,
Dunces podcast
Johnny, please, if you do it, yo, I'll help you pay. Yo, the Dunces will help pay for your ticket, bro. Go do it. And,
vlog. Hey, yo, we're going to
bro,
game two.
I'll send you the Dunces hoodie that I got, bro. Just so you can wear it at the arena, bro.
Alright. So
Just so you can wear
game
it.
two, I'm going to downtown and we're gonna do a Dunces podcast vlog.
Please do it. But overall, guys, shout out Phoenix for this game one win. I'm excited to see what this series has in store for us. But as for the Dunces, we are going to let you all go. Please like, subscribe, and hit that like button down below. From Johnny, Isandro, myself, and Jeremy. Shout out Jeremy. Fellow Dunces, we love you guys. And peace.